So recently I went to a pottery painting place with my friend and I had so much fun painting this little dish that I'm about to show you. I don't want to hear anybody say anything negative about anything. It's very whimsical, but then also there are some perfections or whatever, so I'm not gonna get too close. But look at my little dish. There's a lot of randomness going on in it. It's very, very imperfect. There's some animals, some fruits and whatnot, and I think this is the last time I'm going to ever paint tiny designs on something because I wanted there to be a lot of like randomness in it and color, but trying to paint very, very precisely, very tiny is, I don't think that's for me, and that's okay. So this is just gonna be my little nightstand dish. I even wrote my little name on it and I'm happy about it. And I honestly feel like this was really a nice learning lesson for me for many ways, but the most important is about the beauty and imperfections, because I can see a lot of mistakes that I've made on here and things that I would want to do differently next time. But ultimately, I don't know. I think that it's cute that I have little mistakes in there. I feel like it adds character. I remember when I was younger, I would always write my mom little notes, whether I was happy or mad or whatever. And whenever I spelled something wrong, I would want to go back and undo it. But my mom would always be like, no, keep the mistakes. I want the mistakes. And I'm starting to feel that with things. And I think I'm shedding my perfectionism mindset because not everything needs to be perfect. And I don't know. I want to do more things by hand. And I feel like I have been doing more things by hand lately. Coloring, this pottery. And honestly, like I've been craving not being online very much. And I think that's been contributing to my consistency a little bit, because even when I have a whole week free, I feel like I'm not really trying to film. I'm not trying to be on YouTube, which I think is healthy. I would much rather be reading, writing, coloring, painting, and I'm not really trying to change that. Like I've been on YouTube for a couple years now, and I do think there's definitely something around this time of year, or at least sometime within a year, where I'm just more slow. I don't have that grind. Like I feel like I'm trying to get back into hibernation a little bit. Like once it's the New Year's, like I am pumping out content. I want to film, record. I got goals. So yeah, that's just not what's happening right now. I'm not in the mood to grind right now or be seen. Also, like I feel, I don't know, I think there's something in the air, because I've heard it from other author tubers, and I'm sure it goes beyond author tube, where I just don't have the, I don't even know, yes, it could be motivation, but also like the desire to be seen right now on camera. And it's weird because like I feel like since I started authortube, I've talked about how I feel like filming and writing keeps me accountable for my goals and like keeping on track, because I want to be held accountable and whatnot. But for the past like, I don't know how long, at least a month, I just am at a weird point. Like I want to finish my book. I want you guys to see it, but also the more I'm getting towards the end of it, it's like I'm trying to preserve this thing for myself and not want to share it. And I feel like it's very different than what I've been saying. I feel like sometimes filming can be very like motivating and like keep you on track, but also sometimes it can be more of a distraction. Like I just want to lay in bed, pull out my laptop and start writing. I don't want to have to think about what I'm going to look like on camera, or also like try to figure out what to say, because I do love a chatty video, but like only when I have something to say. And sometimes I just write and I'm just like, that's it. There's no thoughts. And if there are, I don't always have to share it. So yeah, I've been on authortube for a year now, YouTube for a couple, but I feel like this is the first time in my little authortube journey where I don't know, I feel like something's changing, where I'm not in the mood to discuss every little thought that's in my mind, and I kind of just want to create in privacy. And I do think there's a beauty in that, and just being in my own world and not having to tell people what's going on. And I think that's been a nice little break. And yeah, I feel like I'm just thinking out loud, but it is something definitely that's got me thinking, because I was like so crazy like motivated not even that long ago. If you go back in any of my recent like writing vlogs about like, we're gonna get this done, and we're still gonna get it done, but maybe instead of we, it's me. I don't know. But regardless, we are doing a writing evening in my life today, and there's gonna be no goals. There's gonna be no anything. We're just gonna sit down and see what happens, and I'm excited to see. I haven't filmed writing in a minute, so I don't know the last update I've given you guys, but things have been well. I just finished reading a book. Let me go get it. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which I think it's the next video maybe I will be talking about it. Yeah, I'm not even gonna go into detail, but I just finished reading it. I'm not gonna share anything yet because I have book club, and any of my girls watching this, Brielle, Celine, I don't want to give you any inside scoops into what I'm thinking about this book, but I enjoyed it. But I'm not going to say anything else until that video comes out. But this has definitely got me motivated, I would say, and just like excited to continue writing. There was something about this that like I've definitely never read a book like this before, and I think it's because I've had such limited variety of books. I don't feel like I've been reading very diverse reads. So there was a character in this book that a few actually that I feel like reminded me a little bit of my own, and I don't know, it got me like thinking a little bit, brainstorming about things like directions I could take it. So yeah, I literally just finished reading this a couple hours ago, so this will be my first time writing since reading that. Nothing crazy is gonna change. I'm not about to like go in a whole different direction, but I think when I read, it makes me a better writer, and like how to frame my sentences or gives me more vocabulary and whatnot. Writers are readers, so that makes sense. But yeah, anyways, I'm excited to take you guys with me for this little evening. And yeah, I'm very curious because, well, I don't know. I feel also, let's just take a break. Hold on. Because like, if I'm being so freaking honest right now, guys, like my mind right now is so divided, and I almost feel like crying, but I'm not going to. I just like, the world right now is just, hello? The world right now is just on fire. And I'm sure that's also something that contributes to me not wanting to be on camera so much, because it just doesn't feel like the vibe. Like the world just, I don't know, like I'm just very like disappointed and like sad, I think, about just like at this moment. If you guys don't know, well, I don't even know if I want to go into it because it'll be such a long video, but there's just a lot going on in the world, and it's just putting a bad taste in my mouth. And I think that's also a really big contributor to not wanting to be seen and just wanting to be alone and like paint pottery and read books and in color. Like when I'm consuming media right now, it's just about genocides, and it's about assassinations. It's about just things that are really, really sad, and maybe it's like tainting my view. Maybe it's just not making me want to be online as well, because online just doesn't seem like a safe space to me right now. It doesn't seem like I'm consuming things that I don't want to be. Like I don't want to be on my phone. I don't want to be on YouTube. I don't want, like, as a consumer. So I think also as a creator, it's just putting a bad taste in my mouth. And I feel like this is just like a realization that I came up with just as I was speaking right now. And I didn't even think about this before pressing record, which is very, very interesting. But I think that when, you know, crap is hitting the fan, it's, you know, important to still create art and not just let it take over everything, and not have like a pessimistic worldview and think that like, well, what's the point in trying and everything's going to crap anyways. And yeah. And in my book, I do address a lot of themes that I think is very relevant in today's society. So that's nice, because like when I feel like I can't do anything, it's nice to know that I have a voice in other ways, and that books can change lives and art can change lives. And I think that honestly, even just like looking at this book, it's like what I just said in this book are like this right now. And I feel like I read it at a really good time. And now I'm contemplating, I'm like, do I want this to be a writing vlog all of a sudden? This was gonna be a writing vlog, but now I'm like, do I want to, or do I want to just kind of sit and talk a little bit more? I mean, I could always do both. And that's just the reality of being online. Like, I can turn on a camera, have something go in one direction, and then just like, I don't know, my mind just really, like, I really want to write, and I whether this is a writing vlog or not, I'm going to write. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna still make this a writing vlog. But I have just so many emotions right now. Just so many emotions. Like, I feel like everything's on fire and that the world's on fire and America's on fire. And I do think writing is a release and can be very therapeutic. So we're gonna make this a writing vlog. I've decided. But I think we'll also have some chats in between this evening because talking is important, and I don't want to like not write, not film when I want to. Like, I genuinely want to. It's just the world. You know? And sometimes I feel like I just feel too much, which isn't a bad thing. But anyways, that just took a completely different direction. It's okay, we're gonna roll with this. This is just the reality of the situation, and I doubt I'm the only one feeling this way. So I'm going to write and then let's just talk. I feel like it's gonna be a very chatty vlog, so I hope you don't mind. But yeah, I hope you guys like my little dish. Let's start writing. Hello, I'm back. So I did some writing, but to be honest, I feel like I did primarily more reflecting, especially because at the beginning of the video, like I said, I feel like I had like an awakening maybe, and just from talking, I was thinking out loud and coming to a lot of realizations. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit, and then we could talk a little bit about writing, even though to be honest, I'm just... the direction, I don't even know what I would even title this video because I just have to say something because it's regarding real life, it's regarding writing, it's regarding art in general, and sometimes it's just nice to like throw my thoughts into a void and see if I'm the only one thinking these things or not. But yeah, the world is on fire, and I think it's very normal that I should be affected by that. I don't think it's normal to witness things and then pretend like everything's okay. Like, the way that social media and technology has advanced to the point where we can see atrocities going on and just move on with our lives is very, very strange to me. I think for me, especially when I see things on social media regarding children, it just throws me completely off kilter and off balance. And we live in a world now where shootings are unfortunately normal and genocides are happening and Epstein files aren't being released, and just a lot of things that weigh heavy on me, and consume so much media that talks about it, that shows it, that highlights the things that are going on. It gets me into a funk, which is normal. And I think the thing that is strange is when we see very gruesome things. Thankfully, I think I'm pretty good at protecting myself from witnessing traumatic things, but y'all, the way it's not normal to be witnessing death and then going to go make breakfast afterwards, that's not normal. There's some trauma going on. There's some rewiring of the brain going on that we have yet to understand, and for people to do studies on this, because this is just so not normal. And I think it's definitely dehumanizing people a lot when we just are so used to consuming things and seeing the crazy stuff that's happening and then going on about your day. And so I honestly appreciate when I see things like that and I'm not myself, because I feel like I still have some perspective, and I'm realizing that, like, yeah, I can just get up and make myself some dinner, but then knowing on the other side of the world these things are happening, or across the street these things are happening, like being able to not just erase it and pretend that it's not concerning me so I don't need to concern myself. Like, I'm very grateful that that's not something that's happening. Yeah, like I said, I did some writing, but I also did a lot of reflecting reflecting, and it made me think about just like the importance of art, and like how when I listen to a song or see a painting or read a book, how I can just be so moved by it and feel changed by it, and how it can have that same effect minus the trauma. Because like I said, it's not normal for us to be witnessing deaths in 4K and then moving on. When I'm feeling this way, I feel very empowered, I guess. Well, not right away. Like, I feel depressed, I feel sad, I go through my moods, right? But like, I do think that there are moments afterwards when I can reflect and think, and when I feel like I can't do anything, that I can pour myself into art. And even if it's not something that is for other people, it can be for me and be an outlet. But I do like the idea of having my writing, or even if it's just this YouTube video, because that is also art, just having to create something that can like change a perspective or highlight an issue. And I can't publish a book right now. That's not something that is possible, but I can publish this video right now. And like, while contemplating, like, should I post this? Is this even gonna be a vlog? And it's kind of a between of a vlog, but also just me talking, I think makes me feel not as stuck and like helpless with what's going on. So yeah, I encourage anybody who's feeling similarly to take that energy and put it into something therapeutic, something. Even if you can't release it into the world, you can release it out of your body. Because I think sometimes when you don't have that outlet, you can harbor like hate and harbor a lot of things that can obscure your worldview and have a very, very pessimistic way of thinking, which I don't think is accurate. So yeah. But in terms of writing, let's get back to writing, even though this I feel like is the least writing vlog ever. Let me just go ahead and give you a little update on that. I think writing is going good. I just wrote a scene where, honestly, I have my outline, you know, but like sometimes I just have it on my outline. Have a scene where they have this discussion about parents, and I don't even know what they would talk about. I don't even know what I want the parents to have. So I did do a lot of skipping because I know more about the next chapters, which I'm trying to be okay with being imperfect with, because like my little tray that I showed you earlier, there's a lot of imperfections or whatever, but it's like I don't need to have everything perfect, especially right off the bat, which is just an ongoing situation with me. But yeah, I did some skipping and I didn't really write all that much, to be honest. I felt a little bit in a funk with it because it just wasn't flowing because my mind was elsewhere. But it was nice because in my book I do have a lot of political things going on, and in my world I get to choose what happens. I get to make the decisions, and I get to address things that hopefully can be a mirror for readers and something that they can take with them into the real lives, or like think about into current situations and things like that. So I just think that that is really, really cool, and something that I feel like if I just sit here and tell you exactly my opinions and exactly what I think and exactly what I want someone to mull over, it might not get across. I feel like there's a certain persuasion when it comes to writing and when it comes to art that not very many other things have that like ability to do. So yeah. Anyways, on another note, I'm turning 26 in 3 days, and that's crazy to me. I feel like on top of that, why I feel maybe I guess in a funk, whatever. I always, and you can go back into other videos, I've definitely talked about this before, but like when it comes to my birthday, I just feel so sad and nostalgic. And it's not because I'm afraid of aging, it's because I'm further away from the girl I used to be, my childhood self, the memories that I had, the innocence of that. And I just have just an overwhelm of nostalgia, and it's kind of hard for me to get out of it, especially like once it hits September, it's like, oh, it's time. And I try my best to be very grateful, and I feel like I am very grateful because I made it another year, new high score. But I can't help it to just know that with every age is further away from the past. And I feel like I don't really like doing that because I feel like I'm currently living in a time where I will be nostalgic for. I could be 50, 60, 70 thinking back to when I'm 25, and right now I'm 25 thinking about when I was 5. So it's just something that I need to stop doing and to live in the present, especially because I'm going on vacation for my birthday. So I need to be happy. I need to let go of all this like negative energies, all this sad juju, and do like a refresh. I need a refresh. And what better time than on your birthday? So that's what I'm gonna do. Also, I'm looking at the most beautiful sunset. I'm gonna see if I can get a clip of it because it's just so beautiful. And honestly, maybe I'll just go run outside real quick. Anyways, yeah, so that's just the reality of being on authortube. Honestly, I feel like sometimes you just want to sit down and make a video and talk about writing, do things about writing, but like your mind's not allowing you to, or like sometimes you have that plan you set in advance, but then when the day comes, your mind just isn't there, your feelings isn't there, and that's honestly okay. There are seasons and there are times where I'm like, yo, I'm about to post a video like 2-3 times a week if I can. And there are times like this where I'm like, I'm happy with what I got. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was very unusual, but I really appreciate it if you made it this far. And if you did, please put any heart emoji in the comments below. I would really appreciate that, and give a like a thumbs up of the video. It really helps my channel, and subscribe if you haven't already. But other than that, I think that is all. I will see you guys next time. Bye.